Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan Nadon. On today's episode, the Chicago Bears are flying up the power rankings per The Athletic. They have a really excited crew over there looking at the Chicago Bears power ranking and have them flying up the boards right now. Also, got to sit here and take a look at Ryan Pohl's press conference and kind of break down some of the things that he said. And listen, I may have to walk back some offseason takes. Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes it's called being wrong and admitting when you're wrong. So we got to talk about that. And also, how balanced can this Bears offense be? Ryan Poles wants it to be balanced, but how balanced will it be with Shane Waldron? All that more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to the chat. We got his Crimson You Dig in the mug, Chef Mac in the building, Mike Nice in the building, Jalen T in the building, Bob Chimney in the building. Good to see everybody here, back and better than ever. Ringo, what's good with you, my guy?
Hey man, I just chilling, ready to talk about these Bears and these power rankings. Gotta get to it.
Absolutely. Listen, it's very interesting. The Athletic breaking down the Chicago Bears, or breaking down the NFL's power rankings, right? And has the Chicago Bears top 15 post draft, which, listen, we know what kind of team we were last season. Top 15 is interesting, but I thought this was a good article to look at because it really talks about how the additions the Bears made post-draft really have people feeling around this Chicago Bears team right now. Pre-draft, so post-free agency, the Bears in their power rankings were ranked 23rd, and they go on to say that no one moved up here more in this edition of the power rankings than the Chicago Bears, who drafted uber-talented quarterback Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick and elite wide receiver prospect Rome Odunze with the number 9 pick. They made only 5 draft picks, but that's not doing anything to slow down the expectations in Chicago. The Bears have 1 division title in the last 13 years, but they're expected to be true challengers to the Lions and Packers this year. And the fact that they're in the top 13 right now and the teams that they're sitting behind, I mean, the Green Bay Packers come in 6th. They dropped a little bit after free agency. They were 5 post free agency, post draft. They're 6 right now, and the Detroit Lions are 3rd. Do you think that is kind of where the Bears sit right now? About 3rd in the division as far as strength of roster.
Yeah, I pretty much said that. I think the Lions were again. They were going to be number 1. I think the Packers are close. The only reason why I got the Bears 3 is because of the mental hurdle that the Packers got over them. I was seeing something a couple of days ago where Rome Odunze was talking about. He says, "Oh, I already hate the Bears." I mean, yeah, cool.
I already hate the Packers.
I already hate the Packers. All right, cool. I need you to go out there. And hey, maybe that translates to wins because I'm sick of it now. Where it's almost like you know how it was. Like it's with me and Ken and Matt. I'm tired of you talking about it. Just go out and beat them.
Like, exactly. No, and I think the biggest thing for the Bears right now is overcoming a lot of the mental hurdles. And I think the only reason right now, because you have to think about this, right? They're basically saying that this roster is 13th in the NFL, and when you look at some of these rosters ahead of them, not to say that they're not better, but I think I'd have some questions. But it all comes down to the quarterback, right? They got Baltimore 4 right now, talking about how they basically stockpiled at some premium positions in this draft, which they absolutely did. The Texans 5, Cowboys are 7, Browns are 8 right now, Bengals are 9. You got the Eagles at 11, you got the Bills at 10. And the Rams are at 12. I'd say you could make an argument that for most of those teams, the Chicago Bears have a better roster or have put together a better roster. But I think the biggest question is the same thing that me and JC talked about yesterday. You know, you can evaluate all of the pieces that you have on this team. You can sit there and say, oh, this guy's going to be great. This guy's going to be trash. He's going to do this. Oh, he's going to catch this many yards. He's going to run for this many yards. It all comes down to how quickly Caleb Williams hits the ground. It all comes down to how good the quarterback can be right away. You know what I mean? Like that's really what holds back a lot of this. I think top 13 is a great spot to be at, especially based on last season. But that's also with, at least to me, what I think a lot of teams look at is, hey, listen, like, if Caleb is good, this could skyrocket very quickly. If Caleb struggles early on, this could be like where the range that they're at. And that's kind of why I view the Bears in the 13th spot is a good spot for them right now in the power rankings. And I think that it could be quickly in the season that we see this Chicago team climb.
Yeah, I think the only questions that I had when you were bringing up the teams that were ahead of them, the Browns are 8 is per-
The defense heavy.
weird,
Defense heavy.
weird to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the defense is there. The defense is going to be what it is. But I mean, if because I can understand that they're strictly going off a quarterback play. That's why they got the Ravens for Lamar. Got the second MVP. So I can see why they did that. But I mean, it goes back to what I've said. Like, I think that 30 like around 3,500, 23 touchdowns and 14 picks for Caleb would be the move, because he's going to be eased in based off the additions that Ryan Poles has made. He doesn't have to go out and do the Superman type thing. And judging off his play, just off the tape in college, he doesn't want to do that unless he absolutely knows that he has to go out and do that. So I think that the 13 is a perfect spot, but they'll definitely be able to move up towards the middle of the season. I will hope, when he fully is ready to take off.
Nah, for sure. I think the big thing right now is just hit the ground running. We'll probably see the schedule release next season. Excuse me, and it's going to be very interesting kind of to see how some of these games fall. You know what I mean? It's going to be very interesting to me to see, okay, what are some of these teams going to actually be able to go out there and do? What order is this going to be? How are the Bears going to? Because to me, I've said this a couple of times on the show, right? If you start off and you're talking about, you play Arizona, you play Houston, you play who are some of the other opponents that we had that were like,
Titans.
you play the Titans, right? Some of
I'm
those
saying the
teams
Titans on there.
that are the lesser teams in the league that make this schedule look very winnable. If you play a bunch of them early on and Caleb gets comfortable, sky's the limit.
Oh yeah.
Right? Not to say you're not going to play. You're probably going to play a division team in there where you go, oh man, like this. We got some dogs in here on the division, right? You got the Panthers as well. Baki bringing out a great one there. You know what I mean? Like, it really depends on how this all falls out, because to me, if this plays out and the schedule falls the right way to where you're playing a lot of your tougher opponents toward the second half of your season, now Caleb's is able to get used to some NFL speed. Now Caleb is able to get used to NFL talent and how to navigate that, able to get a rapport in with his wide receivers and different things like that. I think that makes a massive difference in how this season plays out, versus if you start the season versus the best of the best that you're going to go up against, right? We got San Francisco on the schedule. I mean, like, you got the Packers on the schedule, you got the Lions on the schedule. If you start off with a division heavy start to the season, by the way, over 100 in the chat.
100, yeah, 100.
If you start this thing off with, I mean, some of the toughest teams that you're going to be playing this season, I think that changes the expectation, that changes the trajectory on how we feel this team's going to hit the ground. It also, I think that the big thing with that as well is that, and we'll talk about this kind of in the final segment, but it really has me looking at this coaching staff and how prepared they're going to have this team, right? I think this year, to me, this year's preseason, we're talking about preseason power rankings, and like the video, if you agree, the Bears cannot go into preseason this year, especially having a Hall of Fame game, having an extra game, and not utilize it. They can't do what they did last year. Matt Eberflus, almost said Mark Trestman for some reason. Matt Eberflus cannot go into this season and do what he did last season, where he's like, the vets don't really need to be out here. We're trying to find the extra guys. We're trying to find the other guys. We don't want to risk guys getting hurt. No, you need to get guys prepared for the NFL season that's ahead of them. And that's why I love the fact that Yurko's sitting there when he's talking about training camp, and he's like, what the heck are they out there for? it's pointless for them to be out there because they're not running a real training camp and people are getting excited over it. And they were. Me and J Mac are sitting at training camp last year, Jason McKee, and we're just like sack, sack,
Yeah.
sack. And then you see the football get thrown, and all that you see on Twitter is Justin Fields with a laser down the left side. Like, no, wait a minute now. Hold on,
yeah.
like,
Hey, it was a lot. It was a lot of that going. It was a lot of that going on. But not, yeah. I think I'm with Dan Tanner. He was replying to B Dog, and he said that that we they basically got to see everybody in action first. I mean, listen. Everybody look good on paper. This is around the time I like to say everybody's gearing up to see what team they're gonna be using on the next Madden because this roster looks nice. Like
right.
all these people, bro, you gotta go out and officially put it together. And even to that point that you made about you might have to play the San Frans later on down the line. The thing that I said it once, I'll say it again. Look, if the defense brings that mentality that they had in the second half of the season when they were the top scoring defense in the league, if he's going up against that in practice, and he's picking that up at a rapid pace, by the time you get to the 49ers and all those other defenses, I'm not saying that he'll win the game, but he'll definitely have a better showing than what we thought if Eberflus has those guys ready.
And that's really what it comes down to, right? You got to be ready. You have to have guys in a position to go out there and be successful. And I just think too often last season. And listen, that's still my
concern. Facts.
Hey, facts, Baki. Yeah, I did want to bring that out too, Baki. Hey, last year, dog. When I don't know if y'all remember last year when they wanted the Bears offense to be more aggressive. That was that thing. Be more aggressive. You can't be as quiet. You got to come out with a fire in your belly. And so Chase Claypool took that as just, let's start throwing some bands around. And, hey, he's like, whoa, hey, calm down.
Muggs don't realize.
Can you call him that?
Ready to square up.
Can you call him that? I don't think you could do that in the streets, no. But I think that's really, I'm really focused in on the coaching staff, especially, as the Bears continue to climb in the power rankings and to start this season with some expectation. Are you going to have your team ready for the expectations that are going to be attached to them? Are you going to have your team ready for the expectations of success, for the expectations of, hey, this team could be a 10, 11 win football team this season. We don't need to see you out there trying to figure it out as you go through the day to day, right? Like you shouldn't be figuring out your scheme. You shouldn't be figuring out your system when the start of the season gets here, right? And I get it, right? You don't want to risk guys to injury. You don't want to risk losing guys, and I understand that fully. I'm not saying that you should risk losing guys or should risk guys not being there, but you can't tell me that the better option is having unprepared guys but healthy guys. Like there's no version of that even remotely makes sense to me. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Let us know how you guys feel in the chat as well. We'll be chopping it up with you guys in the chat. Also be chopping it up with you guys over on overall. We got Facebook in this mug. We got YouTube in this mug, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us on this mug. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. I do want to talk about this though. I think that this is an interesting topic here.
What's good?
Because we heard Ryan Poles talk today. And listen, I have no problems admitting when I'm wrong. And Ryan Poles basically told me that I was wrong today. Listening to him on the Pat McAfee show, did an excellent interview on McAfee, and I thought that he really broke down a lot of what you wanted to see, right? Or a lot of what you saw, I should say, a lot of how the draft room was run, a lot of what their game plan was, a lot of how they wanted to go about things, you know what I'm saying? And I love that. But he started it off by talking about when his love for Caleb Williams began. And he basically said that Justin Fields never had a shot. He basically said that Justin Fields never had a chance to make this team in so many words, right? I mean, listen, if Justin comes out and he plays phenomenal, he plays lights out, it looks like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, maybe then he's on the team. But he starts off by talking about when his love for Caleb Williams began. And he said, the tape always stuck out to me. I really fell in love with his tape, but I just needed to know who the person was.
Right.
And so it basically was me sitting there going, so you've liked this guy for 2 years.
But
You've liked Caleb Williams for 2 years. And you just couldn't figure out what kind of guy he was yet because he wasn't in the league and it's not legal to sit there and go through all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, listen, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The GM basically said in so many words that Justin Fields never really had a chance on this team, that he would have had to do something miraculous to have any kind of a shot at this team. And guess what? I said that I thought that it was a tough decision. Based on what I heard from Ryan Poles today, doesn't sound like it was a very tough decision.
It wasn't that tough.
You know what I mean?
Nah, I just, bro.
I love that he comes out at the end, though, and he's like, this is one of the toughest things I've ever had to do. You said you fell in love with this dude, Tate. It's been Tate for 2 years.
Remember when he was like,
now, for all the people that say, why didn't you do this sooner? Why would you hold Justin? Because, one, you wanted to build draft capital.
Right.
And two, which didn't happen. And two, you do have to wait it out and see what you have. Mm. And you might as well have waited out and see what you have with Justin versus just going out there and running it out back with Tyson Bagent or whatever it is, right? You want to be competitive. And so I understand it now, but I think this is great. Poles finessed us. Poles is the king of finesse, and he finessed us. That's exactly what happened there. And so, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I don't think he finessed. I don't think he finessed y'all. The main thing that I said when this conversation first came up about Justin and Caleb, I told y'all this. I said, if you can't tell me that if you're telling me right now that Caleb Williams' tape is better than what Justin Fields has on the field right now, then it was a no-brainer. Yeah. That was my only thing, because the things that we asked from Justin, the things that he said he wanted to see from Justin improved on, but it wasn't. He made some improvements,
right?
But that wasn't enough for him to go, hey, yeah, I'm going to take him. I'm going to keep him overtaking Caleb. Muggs always like to bring up the fact, oh, well, he said he had to be blown away. That was last year. That was the Bryce Young. That was the Bryce Young you did. That wasn't this year. So, I mean, I think that was my only thing. I think that he had that, made up from the jump. And it's also, like I've been saying, he's been more than fair with everybody, I feel like, since he's been here. He's been fair with Flus. He's been fair with Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
He was fair. He was fair with Justin. I feel like he was more than fair with Justin. Justin didn't get it done. Okay, thank you for playing the work version of our game. We need to get a new QB.
Right.
That's all it was.
I'll say this. I think that he was fair with Justin in the end. I don't think that he put a team. He didn't put this level of a team around him. But guess what? Justin wasn't his guy. You know what I mean? And so am I surprised that he didn't put this level of a team around him? I guess maybe a little bit, right? Because when do you want to start winning? But now we're here, right? Like now we're in the situation where we've got 1 and we've got 9, and I'm more than happy. So I'm not upset by any of it, but I do think that it was a little bit of a surprise to me, at least, that when you say you fell in love with this guy's tape, right? That means that you've been since you got the job here, you've been looking at Caleb Williams.
Right.
Since you got the job
I will say that's the part of it that was crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, listen, you kind of string it along for a couple of years and you're like, we'll get there. You know what I mean? I think we got some good pieces here. He's got to blow. I'm sticking with Justin. He's got to blow me away for me to feel like, and then like, as soon as, it comes down to it, it's like, the guy I want is there. And again, I'm not mad at it because of the situation that it's in, but I feel like there was a lot of debate, a lot of discourse, and I was on the Justin Fields side of things, and it just, it didn't end up working out for him. Here we are. Now we're moving into the future. Now we're moving into the right direction. I'm not mad at any of it, but it is funny to kind of see, like, as Tana said, I do think he finessed us. I think he finessed a lot of people into believing that he believed in Justin Fields more than he did. I guess he never committed to Justin Fields, but the fact that he was like, listen, I wanted him to improve and he improved. Are there still things he needs to improve upon? Yeah, I mean, but I it
Hey,
is hey, as Crimson said, so they've been tanking for 2 years? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, but you
Well,
want to know.
last year wasn't really a tank because you knew you had the Panthers pick. And I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
if you didn't think you were getting the top pick in the draft by week 3, like, the Panthers were dog water, bro. There was no way you looked at that Panthers team and was like, no, this is going to come together. They have no wide receiver. They have no running back because they're both here. They've got no offensive line. And what do they got? Adam Thielen. You know what I mean? Like,
It was crazy. I think, it honestly, bro, he got Justin up to the equivalent of, like, you know how, like, you see somebody, you talking to one chick, and then it's like, all right, I'm talking to you, cool. I'm trying to get to the friend right quick. Like, I'm just trying to get to the friend right quick. I'm just trying to get to the friend. You cool? But I mean, it's just one of them things. Like, like, it's like everybody been saying, he had potential. And it's like you said, did Ryan Poles put the team around him that we see now? No, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, at the end of the day,
oh, listen, it's a done deal now. I'm not even worried about it now. You know what I mean? Like, but
hey,
it's just,
D-Burn, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Hey, you gotta go, but you gotta go.
it's just funny to me. And I think here's the thing. He didn't put Justin in a bad situation. He didn't put Justin in a situation where, he can't go out there and be a player on the field. I just think that, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's the big thing that you wanted to see. I guess, right, Ryan Poles was never going to give you that because he had belief in a different quarterback. Yeah, I mean, like you said, he was in a relationship with one, but he was like, what the friend looked like. And the friend, hey, listen, and I'm not going to lie to you. Now we here, friend looked pretty good.
The friend done showed a little leg.
Yeah, I mean, friend got a little leg out. And that's my thing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad at it at all. And I'm not even mad at, like, how the offseason went, because I think that here's the thing. That's what I want my general manager to do. And that's the part that I want people to really understand. Shout out to 10. If y'all ain't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man.
That like button, man. Hit that like button.
That's the part that I want my general manager to do, though. This offseason is what I want my general manager to do. I want the discourse. I want the confusion. I want the debate, because you know what that does in most scenarios, right? Maybe wait a little too long here, but it drives the price up.
Right.
And there was a higher price for Justin Fields that could have been gotten, but he wanted to do right by Justin. Fine. You got the number 1 overall pick. You feel like you got a wealth of riches right now with what you got in the first round. Cool. But I think that if you're sitting there looking at what you have now, how can you be upset by it? Because not only is the girl bad, right? If we're using the girl scenario, not only is the girl bad, but also you bought her the nice dress, so she looked better. You got her the red bottom heels. Right, Keenan Allen, he the red bottom heels right now.
You
right,
you got the Birkin bag.
She got the Birkin bag on her, right? Roma Dunze's the Birkin. Not only did she come with her, but you brought the Birkin with her. Yeah, I mean, like, you've also added the assets to make the girl look better. So not only is she bad, but she also looks the part as far as how she's dressed, what she wear. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you got something going on.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, Bears junkie. See, and that's no. This is the DJ Moore part of it. This is the DJ Moore part of it. Not only is she bad, but mama like her too.
I'm glad that the Breeze family could just get this analogy, and we could just, you feel me? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like these are not bad things. Like you really much, because it's also one of them things where it's like, all right, you get rid of the chick. you scrolling through the Instagram, you finally see her with the new dude. Oh man, she didn't even do nothing for real.
Right.
But,
I mean,
but,
hey, listen,
but you said
I
you
don't know
sitting
if we
there
there
with
yet. I don't know if we there yet. We got to see how the season play out, right? She might do a little something.
but the pieces, but the pieces are there for you to be like, he did
Grady
kind of
said,
upgrade.
Grady
Like,
said Justin Fields look good till the lights in the club come on.
nah,
Hey,
it's hard
man.
to that. It's hard to tell that makeup come off. You know.
I'm just saying, bro. I'll say this. I'll say this. Like the whole scenario. I love the offseason that we had because there in most cases, right, that does drive the price up. That does put you in a better situation draft wise because you get people bidding over this dominant piece that is now on the market, right? Or this piece that is elite at something that is now on the market. And so I'm not even mad at how he handled the offseason. I'm not mad at how he's gone about this entire offseason process. Can I say that I would have done things exactly the same way? No. I wouldn't have drafted a punter in the 4th round. Am I glad that the punter's here now? Sure. I know we're gonna be pinning people inside the 10-yard line, and we're gonna have better defensive draft position. Would I have taken a punter? Probably not. But I think that's the thing right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the one part where people get in polls we trust confused.
Yeah.
In polls we trust don't mean that I just agree with everything. In polls we trust mean, hey, listen, I'm riding with you on this decision, but I'm gonna have to see that one.
Right. Yeah.
And that was my whole thing with
about it. Yeah.
that was my whole thing with all of this, right? With the Caleb Williams situation, with the Justin Fields situation, with how the draft was going to play out, with how free agency was going to play out. There were times where, yeah, I did have some questions on some of the moves that we didn't make. I would have loved to go get one of those edge rushers. You telling me you wouldn't be freaking excited right now if you had Danielle Hunter opposite Montez Sweat and had signed that in the offseason? Absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, how could you say that you wouldn't love that? Am I just as excited with Keenan Allen? Yeah. Would I be excited with DJ Moore and Roma Dunze coming into the season? If I had Danielle Hunter on the other side, you're goddamn right.
Yeah.
And so it's not, I think when people say impulse we trust, it's like I'm riding off blind faith, closing my eyes, jumping off the roof, and he's gonna catch me. That's not how I move with my trust. For me, I'm like, I'm gonna ride with you until the wheels fall off. But I am going to ask when we're going to change this tire.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the wheel's been wobbly for a block now.
Yeah.
When the tire going to change? Yeah, I mean, so.
And I will say, because I wanted to address this comment too. It's not that we don't feel bad for the chick, but if I'm constantly having conversations with you about the stuff that you got to improve, and you ain't really doing that to that extent.
Yeah, that's Braxton Jones to me, though.
Braxton Jones.
I don't feel that way about Justin. Right? For me, how if we still using the females analogy, which is a wild way to go down this road. For me with Justin Fields, it's like, hey, listen, we just decided we need to go our different directions. I wish you the best. I hope you wish me the best, and we go out here and we have success. And I upgraded. The chick that you sitting there, you looking at her and you got a little side eye on her, like, I don't really want you to do that. But that's the well, I don't even know if that's Braxton to me. I ain't gonna say that. But it fits, it fits more the Braxton narrative. Yeah, I mean? Yeah. Hey man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, rocking with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. I love the things that Ryan Poles was saying though.
Yeah, no.
On the Pat McAfee show. I thought that it was a very good interview. I thought that, of course, the reason he's on there is because the Bears went out and drafted a punter. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I just think that how he's gone about building his team, how he's gone about building his process. Now, again, like we were saying, how are the coaches going to use this? You went out and you got a freaking Lamborghini and you just threw the keys to Flus. How's Flus going to drive this thing?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, how's he going to tune it up? How's he going to improve it? How's he going to make additions to it? You know what I mean? Like, so many things to me. So many things that I look at with this team now, and now I'm just like, all right, the team is set. You got a young guy in Caleb that's absolutely a dog. You got a young guy in Roma Dunze that's absolutely a dog. You have multiple pieces in place that should have you moving in the right direction. Okay, now how are you actually going to drive this car? And that's where I look at Shane Waldron and kind of what Poles said is why I'm looking at Shane. He said his goal for this offense is to keep this offense balanced. His goal for this offense is to keep this offense to where everybody's able to have success. And that is not what we've seen out of Shane Waldron. Not to say that he has not developed the quarterback, but let me give you two scenarios based off of the Super Bowl teams that we had last season. Would you rather have the quarterback that you just feel like can overcome anything and you can put him out there and listen, yes, he's a god, but you start to look around your team and you're like, ugh, I don't know. Or would you rather have the dude who has the wealth of riches everywhere you look, has the defense, has the linebackers, has the DBs, has the offensive line, has the receivers, has the running back, and is just good at utilizing all of them? Basically, would you rather have the guy at quarterback or would you rather have the team?
I mean, okay. So when people ask this question, I always I go back and forth, right? Because if we being honest, if Chris Jones never gets to Brock Purdy on that pass to Jennings in the back of the end zone, they win the game. Cause you can see Brock Purdy say it was there, I had it. He just got in my face.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's like on the other side of that, you got Patrick Mahomes where it's like, oh, we not ducking no smoke. I want Josh Allen. I want Joe Burrow. I want this. Oh, we don't have this. I'm just good enough where like I can elevate that talent. I just need Rashee Rice to come along just a little bit, just serviceable enough for us to continue to be dangerous. So it's tough.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. For me, it's not tough.
I'll go with the God at QB.
I'd rather have a team.
I'll go with the God at QB because this is the reason why at some point you're gonna have to pay all of those guys.
100%.
So some of those pieces are gonna be missing. Is he still going to be able to be elite then? Because you also have to remember Purdy's got Shanahan. So,
but guess what? Purdy's got Shanahan. Right, what you said is factual. Yeah, Purdy's got Shanahan, but also Purdy's got Shanahan. Purdy's got the best play caller in football right now, for the most part. I mean, maybe we could say Andy Reid is a little bit better.
I think it's like arguing apples and oranges.
Well, listen, it's both great situations, right? But I think to me, my thing is I would rather have the team because the team includes the coach, the team, right? If all scenarios are straight, right? The coaches are great. Yeah, I mean, but one team you look at and you're like, ugh. Yeah, I mean, who's catching a football? I don't know. Isaiah Pacheco's running like Fred Flintstone out here. I mean, like it's not the same offense versus when I look across the field, I see somebody at every position. I would rather have the team, and I understand they lost the Super Bowl. I understand that they're not gonna be probably the favorite heading into this season to go back to the Super Bowl, but the likelihood that you can get back there when you have the full team is usually there with the team instead of the God quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is a God quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
How many Super Bowls we talking about?
we talking about one of them things.
And he's been to what, 2? Has he been to 2? He's been to 1, right? They didn't get to the second one.
Just one.
A-Rod's only been to 1.
Just one.
Right, we've had God quarterbacks. Now, take the quarterback that turns himself into a god because the team was immaculate. To me, that's a Tom Brady. To me, that is what Brock Purdy can be. Right, those guys can become gods because to me, right, God quarterbacks, right, Dan Marino's a God quarterback. Pat Mahomes, of course, he's had the ultimate success, but Pat Mahomes also had a really freaking good team early on, right? And he's maintained being a God quarterback. Joe Burrow is a God quarterback. You know what I mean? Those guys that it's like, it don't matter. No tackles, 2 tackles, 1 tackle, no center, 4 centers. I got no wide receivers. I got 2 wide receivers. We're gonna win some games, boys. Let's go.
But I think it's only like when you talk about that type of, because we always talk about like, oh, this person is a dog. This person is a dog. Like they're not ducking no smoke. Really, like right now, like
And
is
listen,
only it's
this is not to cut you off. This is not evaluating the dog. Brock Purdy's a dog.
yeah. No, no,
Brock
no.
Purdy dropped back against
Brock is the
that
dog.
Detroit defense that was like, we're gonna run. Like, wait
Yeah,
a minute, dog, you don't run.
yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like I feel like we really only got right now 2 of those, and I'm not saying, and this is not hate on Brock Purdy. I think I'm right with what you said. I think that he could develop into that Tom Brady. I'ma just clean outwork you because listen, last pick in the draft, you clearly been outworking everybody else
Yeah.
to this point to get to where you had to go, but is really only to me uh Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow that's like legit. I want to see that person beat me. And I got this dog in me. Those are legitimately the only 2
I think here's
right
my
now.
thing. Here's my thing with all of it. The opportunity for Purdy to become that Brady level quarterback is higher because everywhere he looks, there's talent around him. Tom Brady,
Yeah,
everybody sits there and looks at, well, when he had Randy Moss, he wasn't able to win the Super Bowl. That wasn't the talent that Tom needed. Tom needed them offensive linemen.
yeah,
I mean, Tom needed them 5 big boys up front. When he had them 5 big boys up front, he was able to go out there and dominate.
yeah.
And so that's why I say, right, like, what situation would you rather have? Would you rather be in? Would you rather have the God level quarterback that it looks like he can overcome anything and always put you in a position to win? How long do we see those guys last, though? How long do we see those guys go out there and win Super Bowl? I think that you can almost, I'm going to be honest with you. Can we really even say that Patrick Mahomes, I guess he won his last Super Bowl that way with the offense, right? But really the defense put him in the best position in the world. But for the most part, Pat Mahomes has had the best team.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has
But
had
he's also but he's doing the right things as in like, okay, you're gonna give me this large contract. Hey, take some of this money back. We need to keep Chris Jones. We need to keep this person. We need to keep
yeah,
so
he understands the
so
team aspect.
I think at a certain point you'll be able to keep seeing those guys dominate if they know that they got the blueprint to win it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to address too is what you said about Tom Brady having the offensive line up front. Must got to realize there's 2 separate teams when you talk about Tom. When Tom first came in, it was all about the running backs
And the defense.
the running backs, the defense, and then like that's pretty much what it was. At that point, it's just make the right play, which is at this point that's what we're kind of seeing from Purdy, right?
Yeah.
Now, eventually, if he continues to work like Tom did, now I'm ready for now we got Randy Moss, now we got Gronk, now we got Wes Welker, now we got Danny Amendola, now we got
Yeah. And I'm ready to be
yeah,
the face of
yeah.
this team.
See, now he's got that mentality like,
Yeah.
hey, we got enough to go out and win, and I'm good enough to where now I can get into that Patrick Mahomes elk that I can lift my team in order for us to go do what we need to do.
But see, I think that's why to me the team, like everybody's so focused on getting the quarterback right, and I'm fine with that. And I think that, and all of this is because, right, we talked about Ryan Poles' conversation on Pat McAfee where he said that he wants to see this be a very balanced offense. He wants to see the team be utilized. I'm fine with you developing the quarterback, and you have to develop the quarterback. But what's going to develop the quarterback more if this team is on the right path, or if just he is on the right path and bringing the team along with him? You have to have that balance. And that's the one thing that does scare me a little bit about Shane Waldron. I think Shane Waldron can develop the quarterback. I think he can get some skill sets out of Caleb Williams that maybe he didn't have coming in. I think that he will be able to help Caleb Williams turn into a really, really good quarterback in the NFL. Where I question Shane Waldron at, and why I say, would you rather have the team over the quarterback, is Shane Waldron didn't have a bad team last year. And yet
No, he didn't.
the team that he had last year, let me take a look here, was 28th in rush yards, was 17th in pass attempts, was 16th in passing yards. They were 10th in passing average. They didn't allow a lot of sacks. They were 10th in that as well, 38 on the season. They were 24th in rushing touchdowns. They were 17th in passing touchdowns. And we can sit here and blame Geno Smith, but none of that was the case before. That's where my concern comes in. Are we sitting here and we're going to say this is all? I have to sit here and I guess we got to wait a season for all of this to hit, or are we looking at this season and going, hey, look, you got to hit the ground, my guy. You got to make sure that you're developing the team, that the team is coming through, not just Caleb Williams.
No, yeah, I think it's one of those things where like you're right, because when I look at it, you got you had the two O linemen. You got Kenneth Walker in the back. You drafted you got Charbonnet. They should have been doing damage on the ground. If you ask me, because Kenneth Walker, I mean, listen, he's a dog. He's an absolute dog, and
it was just underutilization. It was poor situational awareness on third down and third and short situations. You're trying to pass the football instead of run the football. You weren't using Zach Charbonnet nearly enough. You know what I mean? And that's why I look at it and I say, okay, like, but what we have all of these things. Who's driving the car? Right? I'm not saying Shane Waldron is going to be bad. I'm saying I have questions. And there's a reason why they were very okay moving on from him in Seattle. And when you hear the talk about him in Seattle, I hate to tell people this, he sounds like Luke Getsy. When people talk about his second half adjustments, it sounds like Luke Getsy. When people talk about him, right, like all of the things, all of the negatives that we had for Getsy outside of developing the quarterback, Shane Waldron.
Yep. But I think that's the thing though too, right? Is the fact that, dude, at the end of the day, because I remember when we like first started this conversation about who had to hit the ground running if they got brought in. Everybody got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, everybody
has to hit the ground running, because again, I go back to the action meeting. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that Kevin Warren said. Like, I'm tired of sitting back. Now I need to see results. What's up?
Yeah.
Like, and that's
I like this comment too, Derek. I don't agree with balance. You didn't draft him to hand the ball off 50% of the time. Not what I want to see from him either. I agree with you on that, Derek. I don't want to see you handing the football 50% of the time. When I want to see the 50% pop up, though, is in third down situation and third and short, because that's not when he gave the ball away. That's not when he turned the ball to his running backs. That was one of the biggest issues that they had with him last season. I don't want to see if I'm gonna be real with you, 50-50 ain't the modern NFL no more. You want to know who else? Like you look, we talked about, right, which quarterback would you rather have team-wise, all of that. Look at the teams. The team that won the Super Bowl handed the football off or ran the football 25th, the 25th most attempts in the NFL. Worse than the Bears. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to see that.
But at least they handed the ball off in the right times, though.
They handed the ball off at good time. That's what I'm saying. Situational awareness. I'm fine with you being more pass heavy than run heavy, 110%. I think that's the modern era of football. That's why we're the only team that can't sit here and get a 4,000-yard passer, because we're trying to 50-50 this thing and take it back to the days of Walter Payton. I don't need the days of Walter Payton.
Right.
What I do need is somebody that, if it's a 3rd and 1, isn't trying to run a jet sweep. If it's a 3rd and 1, isn't trying to throw a 15-yard pass down the field. If it's a 3rd and 1, right? Because here's the thing. We can sit here and look at all of this stuff, and I say, look at Seattle last year. What didn't they have?
Bro, I remember us talking about it, and I remember us like saying like they got one of the better skilled units in the league. I mean, you talking about DK, you talking about Tyler Lockett, you talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba. Kenneth Walker again. I don't understand why, like this dude. I don't know. So I mean, like it's like this. Do we got valid concerns? Yes, these concerns are very, very valid because at the end of the day, you out here trying to win games. Like I understand what his makeup is. I understand what he was brought in for. You basically drafted the third. You basically drafted Rome. I get that it kind of looks like you're trying to do the Seattle thing again, but it's like again, you said situational awareness. Is he going to have that? When the tough get going, and the thing about it too is I almost said Getty is
Waldron.
is
Shane Waldron.
Matt
Oh,
Eberflus
Flus.
is Matt Eberflus going to have the wherewithal to be like, hey, I don't like this. I'm going to override this play. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think that's the other part about this, right? Like it's so funny to me that we come into this season and because Flus has a taper fade and a beard, all the concerns that we had leaving. I remember everybody was in here freaking out. I was like, how do we still have Flus? Like everybody was MFing Ryan Poles. Everybody was sitting there. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Why would you? He makes no sense. Right? Bill Belichick's out there. Jim Harbaugh's out there. Remember all that? Remember that? Remember that? He was cooking this man for keeping Matt Eberflus. Now he got a beard and a taper fade, and everybody was like, I don't know. There's something about this Flus guy. This guy's got it. There's something about him. What's it? It's like
he seems a little bit more trustworthy nowadays.
Listen, going back to the female analogy, right? Flus went down to Dominican, got a BBL, came back, and now all of a sudden we like, wait a minute, is the personality better?
Right.
No, still a terrible person on the inside. I'm not saying Flus is a terrible person, but that's how, right? Like he changed the outside and everybody felt better about the scheme. He changed the outside and everybody felt better about, hey, listen, like he didn't blow us 3 games last year. No, he did. No, he made mistakes that cost us 3 games last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my thing where my biggest questions now coming into this season are what is the coaching staff going to do to most utilize this and how much change are we going to see? How much change are we going to see from Waldron? How much does Shane Waldron and listen, I get it. Shane Waldron had a horrible situation with the offensive line last year. Had an offensive line that was pretty good at run blocking, but due to some injuries, they had other guys kind of step in. You lost. You kind of had some step back from Charlie Cross last year, and the pass blocking efficiency was dog water.
Yeah,
right. They had terrible pass blocking efficiency, and yet he was letting the ball fly. You know what I mean? So, like, that means you looked at your offensive line, you looked at the struggles that it had, and you said, throw it. With 2 really good running backs back there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the part where it's like, okay, what does he learn from that situation? What is he going to develop from that situation? How's he taking that next step? Because I got a lot of question marks on Shane Waldron coming in. And I left the season with question marks on Flus. The fade don't change my opinion of him right now. Do I think that, listen, do I like Flus? Sure. First off, Flus is an awesome dude. Do I think he's a good defensive coordinator? 100% I think he's a good defensive coordinator. And that's why I'm like, listen, the defense should be able to hit the ground running. Here we go. But when you bring up, hey, he kind of just sat by while Luke Getsy threw the same screen pass 4 times in the end zone for Justin Fields. 4 times. Like, legitimately 4 times. Like, they didn't even change the call.
No.
4 times.
I know. How many again?
4 times.
Okay.
Legit versus I believe everybody's still on that Super Bowl defense over there. Levante Davis still there. Yeah, I mean, it was
yeah.
I mean, like, everybody's still there. I mean, 4 times. At what point do you get on the head? I don't even have my headset down here. At what point do you jump on the head? What are you doing? You know what I mean?
No, it's working, bro. It's working. I'm trying
I think that's my thing about it, where I'm like, are you gonna just allow Shane Waldron to move aimlessly? Are you gonna let him handle everything? Like, what is the game plan there?
I think with that though, I think with that though, it's like this. I think Poles knows at the end of the day, it's like you said, is Flus a great defensive coordinator? Yes. Is he looking for him to now step up and become more of that leader in that locker room, be more assertive? Yes. I also think he's looking for that too. Now, can Flus do that? I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, because it's like you said, the fade don't change nothing. We didn't forget. We didn't forget. Nobody forgot.
Mike
I
Knight said, "I'm confused now. We dogging Flus out today and Waldron bad play call. We're not dogging him out. We're
nah.
just saying what happened.
I mean, nah, and
We're
yeah,
we're we're
we
we're
just
we're
don't have to.
saying what went down last season. We're talking about the things that we talked about at the end of the season. We're talking about the things that we talked about to finish the season. We're talking about the things that we talked about when Shane Waldron was hired. When I had my guy on from Locked On Seahawks to sit there and evaluate Shane Waldron, and he told me a lot of the same things about Shane Waldron that we said about Luke Getsy. These are things that we've said the entire time. It's not dogging. It's just talking about what we have.
Yep.
Because now you have a roster that, and I said this yesterday, your rebuild to me is done. Now you start
It's
winning.
complete. It's complete.
Your rebuild is done. Your focus is winning.
I think at the end of the day, what we want to see from Flus, just be more assertive, bro. Just be more assertive and stand on. If you say that you making this call on 3rd and 1, hey, we not passing it. Bump all that. Get a ball to sweat or run the run the QB sneak, bro. Just be more assertive in the calls you make and stand on business with that. You the coach.
And
You the
Mike,
coach.
I want to address this too, Mike. Okay, but we talk about Waldron when he didn't have a team like he's got now. Okay, let me read you Seattle's offense.
This the
Just
same
so we know.
team. What you mean?
DK Metcalf, 1,100 yards last season. Tyler Lockett, 894 yards last season. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 628 yards last season. Use Zach Charbonnet, very similar to how he's going to use DeAndre Swift this year. Zach Charbonnet had 200 yards last season. Noah Fant added 400 yards last season from the tight end position. Rushing the football wise, Kenneth Walker, who is a dog at running back, got less than 250 attempts on the season.
How many yards he finished with?
905.
That's unacceptable.
He played 15 games.
That's unacceptable.
I don't know how many games he finished. Right? Because there were some games that he ended up missing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can't, what can't we say that Seattle didn't have that we did? That's why I'm having this conversation. Because he had a whip. He went from a Bentley to a Lamborghini.
Like, bro,
He had a whip.
and this is what I'm gonna say to everybody in the chat. For everybody that's dogging these moves, saying that they didn't have this, bro. And it's again, like Pat said, because I know the majority of y'all mugs be playing Mac, because I see y'all on Twitter, y'all be adding me. These are the same teams that y'all be going back. Oh, these mugs got a whip. I'm finna use them. So it's like why is that? My only thing is this: if you're literally looking at a carbon copy of the roster that he had last season in Seattle, it's literally just different names. They're looking for Shane Waldron They're looking for Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus just to make better decisions. That's literally all it is. It's just like Pat said. Just have situational awareness, because the way that this team looks on paper right now and the way that the Bears schedule is lining up, there should be no reason why they're behind the 8 ball. You need to get these guys ready and get these guys going at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
That's all it is.
I just think that, listen, the big thing for me is we've seen him with a good team. Right? Last season, you're sitting here talking, the last 2 seasons, you've seen him with a good team. He had bad quarterback play. He had quarterback play that we would dream of here. A quarterback that completed 64% of his passes. Behind a bad offensive line, he threw 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Behind the third worst offensive line in football. He had a better touchdown to interception ratio. He got sacked 31 times. He had a quarterback rate of 92.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
My thing with all of it, and listen, we can disagree. It don't have it's
Oh,
not deep, nothing
it's
like
all
that.
love.
But my thing with it is that I've seen him with a good team, and I've seen him underutilize those things. I've seen him make the wrong decisions situationally. These are the same things that Seattle fans were telling me and Seattle media was telling me when he got here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is, hey,
So
listen. But the one thing that everybody did say was, hey, look, he's going to develop the quarterback. And that's why I brought up the question. Would you rather have the great QB that may have to overcome some of the deficiencies, or would you rather have the team? And I would rather build the team up. I would rather have the dominant team. Now, listen, I'm not going to be upset about a great quarterback. I developed the mess out of this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like,
Yeah.
I do wonder if everything's going to be all sunshine and roses when we hit the ground. And we'll see what it ends up being, man. But hey, appreciate you guys for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The fact that we can debate on stuff like this is why it makes it a good show. And we love the Breeze Nation for pulling up and rocking with us, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we got everybody in the stew. Everybody should be in the stew anyway. And I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun rest of the season. Now we know what's on the team. Now we can evaluate the team. Right. And I mean,
everything looked good on paper, bro. It's a fun time right now. It's a fun time right now.
We got some great paper right now. Yeah, I mean, we got
phenomenal
some great paper right now. What Mike Knight said, us Bears fans have split personality. Y'all was mad about Justin. We get Caleb in Rome, and we hype.
I was never mad about it. I just told y'all what it was.
It's the same team as the Seahawks. I don't think we have split personalities. We've said the same thing the entire time.
I told y'all what it was with Justin from John.
First off, I wasn't mad about Justin.
Bro, hey, I'm not gonna lie. Before we get out, that's like the weirdest.
I was the biggest defender of Justin, so I wasn't mad about Justin. That's why I came on here today. Yeah, I mean, that's why I came on here today and talked about it. But it is what it is, man. Yeah, I mean, people hear what they want to hear. Thank you guys for tuning in, rocking with us. Somebody said a plus paper, heavyweight. We got construction paper. You know what I mean? We got construction paper right now. That's what we're working with. We got construction paper. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. Bed down. See red. White Sox Nation. The other one, whatever. Y'all,
first.
Yeah, gross.
Don't hate. You ain't got.
Cap mad that he was traded. When was I mad that Justin was traded? Find me the video where I was mad that Justin was traded. You go ahead and do that. That's your homework. Y'all stay safe out there.
We got a lot of videos. It's gonna be a long night.
Not really, because he's not gonna find one.
It's gonna be a long night.
There was no video where I was mad that Justin was traded. I literally said Ryan Poles made his decision. Here we go. And we're here.